And our road traffic accidents for the first half of 2022 have seen a significant decline as compared to the same period in 2021. The success is actually attributed to intensified sensitization and media advocacy campaigns. The multimedia group, especially Joy News, has been spearheading safety campaigns in its bid to reduce carnage on our roads. Acting Director General of the National Road Safety Authority, Engineer David Asafo Adonting, says such campaigns have contributed hugely to the success recorded so far. Before we get to Mr. Adonting, our research desk has put together some of the figures in terms of how the decline is going about. So there you have it on your screen right now, giving you a summary of what's happening. So you look at the summary of the road traffic crashes situation between January to May 2020. For instance, you have the last part of the chart indicating that we're dropping significantly to some 1,215 as compared to where we started from in January, where the situation was somewhere around 6,472. The highest came somewhere in February, I presume, with some 10,000 cases recorded, but then now we've dropped significantly once more, as we're noticing on that chart. And there's a need for us to explore all of the angles to this and also try and look at what the implications will be going forward, and how we can also consolidate the figures that we're seeing on our screens now. So fortunately, it's a good time to be having a conversation on this. Joining us in studio is Reverend Cyril Cramb. He's the president of the Accidents Victims Support Unit. It's such a great time to be talking to you, sir. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. And
I'm sure that you're excited, of course, as a foundation that's working towards reducing carnage on our roads. This is good news to you.
Yes, thank you very much, and a quick good afternoon to your viewers.
Right.
Let me quickly also say that yesterday the Ghana Insurance Association held a program.
Okay.
And they supported the Accident Victims Support Foundation. I think the program was the Insurance Week celebration, or Insurance Month celebration. And we want to use the opportunity to acknowledge them and also recommend and appreciate them for the kind gesture. We want to ask others to also come and enjoy it so we can support victims. Yes, indeed. Hearing what is currently happening is a great news for us. And I have to also commend the National Road Safety Commission, National Road Safety Authority for the programs that they have outlined to, bring this success to us, this news to us. Indeed, everybody is aiming at reducing the road carnages. And so to hear that even moving from 0 to 1, I think it's a plus. To evaluate this, and at the end of evaluation, you see a significant reduction, which will go a long way to save lives. Indeed, when you look at the time past, like last year, Arrive Alive did a lot of campaign because the road carnages was becoming a worrisome situation in the country. I mean, families are being left alone, some are being maimed, some are being orcas, some are being, school dropouts. And for us as the Accident Victims Support, it's a big worry. And so to hear that this time around, in the very first quarter of it, there has been that significant, reduction with regards to road crashes. Trust you me, it's a great news. And I think that whatever they put in place, the National Road Safety Authority Stay Alive campaign, whatever they put in place that made this news, the good news come, these reductions come, then I think that it is good for us, to continue and to urge them to promote, and advocate safety on our roads. In fact, it must be a priority for the entire country as we talk right now.
Were you expecting this to happen?
Of course, because significantly, last year especially, myself and the foundation and my team, we were on top of our game to promote, to advocate, and make sure to educate drivers. So we will all, reduce it. Not only drivers alone. We are looking at pedestrians, because when you look at the chart, the analysis that have come, you see that pedestrian crashes were on the ascendancy. And so we're doing everything possible to make sure that we reduce the carnages. And to hear that the first quarter, yes, indeed, some have been lost though, but we have been able, to save some, and where we are right now, I think whatever measure, I want to say that as we sit here, there must be a deliberate intent, to enforce road safety. It is possible, it's achievable, and it can be stopped, because road crashes are avoidable.
I need to also indicate that it's not as though simply looking at the figures drop means that we're done with the work. For instance, you take a look at what's happening to children, for instance, and juveniles. I'm sure that's an area we might want to be concerned about, looking at the figures going up to some 13%.
13%.
How do we deal with that, for instance?
Exactly. We are embarking on a campaign, Safe to Safety Child Road Safety Campaign, because we realize that over the years, for the past 5 years, we support more children than adults. And so just about 3 months ago, we realized the children that have died, considering Uti region, considering the Antobiasi, considering the Sakaman issue, and other related incidents that were involved with children. We think that children, ages under the age of 18 from this day forward must be given priority with regards to road carnages. We must be able to inculcate in them to possess and to take custody of road safety now. Either than that, we are going to be in trouble. Because when you look at the number, 13% already, I don't think that we have to lose any more child. For those of us who are in our 40s and above, we can't do anything about transportation, or we can't do anything about what we're doing. What we are doing is to safeguard them. But for these people, we can give them road safety education. Deliberately, we can analyze it, put it into them, inculcate it, and force them to become at least recipients of the road safety education. And when they grow, they can take it up. So the Safety Child Road Safety Campaign, that is the lollipop stance that we are giving to the schools to be able to use them, to aid them to cross the roads. I am telling you, we are not going to, with this number, we are not going to stop. We are going to push it, because we don't want any more child. One life lost is one too many, and we cannot allow it to go on.
I guess there's so much more we need to do. Let's bring in Reverend Cyril, just hold on. Let's bring in Director General of the National Road Safety Authority, Engineer David Osafo-Adonsing, who's joining us now. Thank you, sir, for your time. So I'm sure that you've been looking at the figures once more, revising it, and from your outfit, what more do you need to do to consolidate this decline in the figures? Engineer David Adonsing, I'm trying to find out from you what more you're doing to consolidate this decline that we're seeing in the figures.
Oh, thank you very much. And let me say good afternoon to you, your panel members, and everybody listening to me this evening. I want to say that the statistics that has been released, which we are discussing now, give me in particular and the National Road Safety Authority some motivation that we shall be worked. Indeed, we have worked very hard over the past number of months under the Stay Alive campaign with all our stakeholders, and I must give the credit to multimedia and the entire media space, all of you collectively and jointly picking up the Arrive Alive campaign and the Stay Alive campaign to this far, where we are convinced from our observation that publicity, education, awareness creation has gone to the top levels. What we need to do going forward is to continue to sustain the publicity and the education and the advocacy. I must say that we have gotten to an era where if publicity has risen to this level, then what must follow is enforcement. The National Road Safety Authority is leading a new crusade. This time, much as we will recognize the fact that we must speak to the conscience of people, road users, to change their behavior, we are also now going to strengthen the capacity to be able to compel people, road users in particular, to behave within the framework of the law. I think we are looking at education and enforcement this time round. If you fail, refuse to behave within the framework of the law, you must be punished. We are going to strengthen the aspect of punishment. That means that the police would have to strengthen their game, up their game to support the education. There are rules and regulations that we must abide by, which we all know. And it's not like people don't know. They are aware. If you look at the speed that people are driving on a highway, the wrongful overtaking, driving under the influence of alcohol, not wearing of seatbelts, the crash helmets that we are not using as we sit on motorcycles, and all that. I think people are aware of the rules. They are aware of the regulations. They are just not doing it. Now, in this recent time that we up our game, strengthening with the police, strong education, strong enforcement, you see how positive results are yielding, in our road safety space. We must continue. We urge everybody, the media in particular, to continue to support the National Road Safety Authority. We have the full support of the IGP, Dr. Dampare and his men, also scaling up their game. If you remember, in recent times, they launched a program called PARI, the police action against indiscipline in terms of road riding, and then also the PI, the Public Invisible Eye, put together to support the education. I think we are getting positive results. One of the exciting lines is the reductions we are seeing in motorcycle crashes and casualties. I think for the first time, we are seeing in Ghana, in the road safety space, reductions consistently for the past 5 months, each month, the CID, that is the crashes, the injuries, and the deaths, consistently for 5 months. And we are excited to see the motorcycles, which hitherto happen to be swelling the biggest, now also coming up. It's a good sign. And we believe that moving forward, if we can strengthen the enforcement to support the kind of education we are doing together with the media, we can see more reductions as we move forward into the second half of the year.
And the issue about institutional support, are you scaling that up as well?
Yes, I think so, because as you're aware, we told you that the National Road Safety Authority, we asked for a transformation from a commission to an authority. In terms of our act, one of the good things is that we have now been given the mandate to regulate the road safety space. The industry where transport operators will now be licensed and regulated. And then also institutions, public institutions that have the mandate to do one thing or the other to change the narrative. I'm talking about the road agency, the vehicle and licensing authority, the ambulance services, and all of them are required to comply with their standards that relate to road safety. And that is where we come in. We are going to step up our activities and actions regarding compelling these institutions, supporting them and collaborating with them to be able to also do their part. When I talk about their part, the road space, the road infrastructure must be safe. If you look at our current situation, most of the roads are now being rehabilitated. We are expecting the roads now to have all the necessary road safety appurtenances, the road signs, the road line markings. We are also expecting that the police, in recent times, we have seen some kind of cameras, surveillance cameras within the cities. In the coming months, the police have assured us that they're going to deploy more cameras, traffic cameras, even on the highway, where they can electronically detect misbehaviors in terms of driver behavior, speeding, jumping red lights, and all that. We have also seen their game now stepping up their game regarding the motorcycles. If you get to town, it is so refreshing to see that motorcyclists now stop at intersections for red light. Can you imagine? So if we continue to do this, and the motorists are also able to accept the responsibility that it is human life we are talking about, and so they must comply with the regulations, listen to the National Road Safety Authority and the media, and collaborate accordingly, I am sure the narrative will change, and indeed, we'll see more reductions in our CID.
Okay then, thank you so much, Engineer David Osafo-Adonting, and spot on, I guess, for you, Reverend Cyril.
Yes. Engineer Adonting has said it all, and I can't add any more. But one more thing is that we are for lives, and we think that everybody can stay alive if everybody are going to be very mindful and the way they drive. Above all, we are talking to road users. We must talk to road constructors. One of the things that UN have stated, which Engineer Adonting will agree with me, is that safer roads contribute to the reduction of road carnages.
Okay.
We cannot only drive safe, but we can drive safe on safer roads.
So that's another angle we should be looking at, for instance.
Which I will plead with road authorities that if they can at least be mindful and go out there and check where we have problems, because when the roads are not safe, however safe you drive, you might crash, not necessarily kill somebody or crash into a car, but you can be delayed, and whenever there is a delay, mind you, economic activities also is reduced, and we cannot get our capital as we want. So if we can agree with the UN Charter for Decade of Action, and we'll be committed to infrastructure, building safer roads where we have proper traffic lights, we have potholes, being filled. Look at the Tema, deplorable road that we have, the situation. And not only that place, the rains have exposed a lot of things, which is contributing to these accidents. And so far as we are talking about the success, everything that we must put in place, inclusively safer roads, we must ensure that is done, and then the driver can move from wherever it is to arrive and stay alive. And that is what we are saying.
But we know that definitely victims of accidents are still with us. Your foundation has been working to support them. Would you want some mainstreaming so as to have institutional provision for persons who are victims to this?
Exactly. I would say clearly that the country is beginning to forget that when there are crashes, there are injuries. When there are injuries, there are deaths. And these cannot do without humanity. So humanity are involved. If our focus and our attention can go a bit towards them, we think that it will help. We are trying our best to push the agenda to support accident victims. And so we put it out there. If government and institutions, corporate institutions can come on board, just like GIA, NRSA, and then also NIC, Enterprise Insurance, Serene Insurance, are doing to support that we can give these people the livelihood they need and be reintegrated back into the society and have hope again. I believe we'll go forward. But above all, we are using accident victims to tell the story so that at least it will contribute to significant reduction of the road crashes. That is what we are looking at. We are all vulnerable. It can happen to you, it can happen to me. So why won't we all put our hands on deck, support the National Road Safety Authority? Let me quickly also commend the Drive Safe campaign. Campaign
it's been a massive campaign.
Campaign. And from last 2 years, this year, and I believe going forward, you are partners. You are mega partners in curbing or in the reduction of the success we are seeing now. And I'll commend you to continue whilst we partner also with you to make sure at least our roads are friendly enough, especially for our children, and it's safer enough to drive safe and arrive alive. Lastly, I want to say that everybody who have supported us from the beginning till now is 14 years already. We salute you all, and may you continue to support us, and the Lord will deliver you. I'm a reverend. So.
That's a reverend for you. Blessings, giving us blessings. The reverend will not go away without giving blessings, but you also need to drive safe. Thank you, Reverend Cyril, for joining us. You're still watching The Pulse here on the Joy News channel. We'll return shortly after this break. Please stay.